Capitan Tiago stands at a modest height, with a round face adorned with a clear complexion. Many view him as plump, which his admirers might attribute to divine blessings, while his critics argue it's a result of his profits built from the backs of the poor. He looks younger than his actual age, appearing to be in his 30s. Tiago's face usually bears a sanctified expression, and his head, covered with glossy black hair, is thought by some to hold significant wisdom. His small, round eyes, which lack the slant typically associated with Chinese features, rarely shift in expression, always appearing rather inscrutable. His nose is slender and well-formed, but his habit of chewing tobacco and buyo detracts from his otherwise appealing features, marring his mouth and making it less symmetrical. Despite this, his natural teeth remain remarkably white, reflecting his efforts to maintain good hygiene. In the bustling neighborhood of Binondo, Capitan Tiago is viewed as one of the wealthiest landlords and a crucial planter, thanks to his large estates in Pampanga and Laguna, particularly charming San Diego. The income from his properties grows every year, and San Diego, known for its delightful baths and lively cockpit, is his favored retreat. He spends at least 2 months there annually to enjoy its ambiance. Tiago also possesses vast real estate in Manila, which generates farming income, particularly from his opium monopoly with a Chinese partner. They control lucrative contracts for feeding prisoners in Bilibid and supply goods to other major establishments in the capital. With a knack for discerning the wants of others, he emerges as a prominent competitor against a businessman named Perez in various government dealings. At this point in our story, Tiago is regarded as fortunate, wealthy, and at peace with God, the government, and his neighbors. Being truly at peace with God is a significant achievement in itself. After all, it's believed that one doesn't need to be at odds with the Almighty when life is flourishing, especially when one has never directly confronted him. Capitan Tiago does not pray in trying times. Instead, he believes that his riches do the praying for him. "Why trouble the Almighty with my petty demands when my money speaks volumes?" he muses. Rather than turning to prayer, he hires priests to conduct masses, novenas, and sacrifices, relying on the destitute to perform religious duties for a minimal fee. 1 peso for 16 mysteries? A bargain, he often chuckles as he wheels and deals. He often invokes the Virgin of Antipolo, convinced she's the most powerful saint. Tiago believes in her extraordinary influence rather than concerning himself with the lesser saints, often neglecting their requests once granted. "If I'm ever in dire straits, I'll make generous promises to Our Lady," he reassures himself, comforted by the thought. Within Capitan Tiago's grand house, an oratory sits concealed behind a silk curtain, filled with various religious images reflective of his diverse beliefs. The room showcases statues of the Holy Family, delicately carved from ivory, and radiant treasures from local artists depicting an arrangement of saints and their miracles. Each statue serves different purposes in his life. The many expressions and postures of the figures in religious ecstasy are meant to inspire awe among the visitors. "Look here! That's a masterpiece from Santa Cruz," he boasts to guests who admire his collection. Guests nod appreciatively, but he senses their envy lurking beneath their polite smiles. Yet amidst these devout treasures, there's one impressive image of Saint Michael the Archangel that Capitan Tiago deliberately avoids. He fears the Archangel might enact some unpredictable miracle upon him. "Let's not take any chances," Tiago whispers to himself. "I may know he's on the side of the good, but still, better safe than sorry." Every year, Tiago joins a pilgrimage to the Virgin of Antipolo, making grand donations for Thanksgiving masses, often spending significant money on lavish meals and delightful entertainment after his religious observances. "Splendid food, fabulous fireworks. Our mother deserves it," he would say with a grin, confident that his generosity would attract further blessings for the coming year. But his devotion isn't confined solely to Antipolo. In Binondo, Pampanga, and San Diego, Capitan Tiago goes to great lengths to ensure his fortune is tied closely with the divine. Before placing substantial bets at the cockfights, he arranges masses as sacrificial offerings for luck, securing the blessings of the priest. "Give me the strength of Saint Michael and the luck of Saint Anthony," he would declare, eyes glinting as he observes the flames of the tapers and the rising incense smoke. eager to predict his fortunes based on their movements. His winning streak is widely acknowledged. "If you've got Capitan Tiago in your corner, you're golden," others would say. However, in the rare instances of losses, he'd find reasons to blame the officiating priest's misfortune. "It was that rascal's hoarse voice. Nothing else could explain my loss." And so, he felt justified in his beliefs, gaining a reputation as a man blessed by fortune, loved by priests and respected by the sacristans, a man who believed himself connected to higher powers. Capitan Tiago's relationship with government officials is similarly calculated. Arriving at events in his finery, he distributes gifts to curry favor and flatter the egos of any and all officials. "Hams for the governor, capons for the judges, it keeps the peace." He often grinned, a glimmer of cunning apparent in his eye. If he overhears any negative talk about the government, he promptly joins the chorus, affirming his loyalty to the officials, even if it means disparaging his fellow natives. "Blessed be the officials, the protectors of our beloved community," he would proclaim at gatherings, raising a toast. And while he may have some disdain for the local Filipino populace, he feels more superior, tricking himself into believing he is a full-blooded Iberian. He is particularly quick to endorse new taxes if there's a chance to earn contracts or farming assignments in the process. At events, he organizes orchestras for serenading governors, judges, and other officials on their special days. "Let us celebrate our esteemed leaders," Capitan Tiago would announce enthusiastically, waving his cane to orchestrate the performance, filled with pomp and vigor. His poetic lavishing of praise in Trinidadian tercets only adds to his likability among the officials he seeks to please. However, not everyone views him as a benevolent figure. The impoverished identify him as a tyrant, a despot who revels in exploiting their struggles. Whispers circulate among the less fortunate, implying that their sadness is woven tightly with Tiago's actions. Rumors abound about young women's sorrow around his estate, their fates seemingly tied to his whims. The worry that clings to their hearts drives many to their pillow, where they silently weep. An old widow, Doña Patrocinio, becomes a great rival to Tiago, a woman with a fierce commitment to devotion yet playful competition for recognition in the eyes of the church. Each time Tiago makes a grand gesture or donation, she retaliates with something even more impressive. "Capitan Tiago just ordered a silver statue of Our Lady," she heard whispers. Without hesitation, she orders a golden one, bringing eulogies from priests that match those shared about Tiago. "Have you seen her new altar?" Capitan Tiago grumbles to his confidant, shaking his head in dismay. "She'll be the ruin of me if she keeps this up." The old woman outmatches him in many encounters. "Another grand feast at the church? My new chandelier will light the way," she retorts gleefully, as if her financial vitality trumps Tiago's riches. This rivalry doesn't make Capitan Tiago's life easier. Rather, it adds stress to his already complicated existence. In the backdrop of this tumultuous rivalry looms Capitan Tiago's early life. He was the only son of a wealthy but miserly sugar planter in Malabon. His father refused to spend money on his education, leading him to work as a servant to a Dominican, who attempted to guide the boy's moral development. "Use what you have wisely, Santiago," the Dominican would say. "Education is a fortune that never leaves you." After his protector's untimely death and his father's passing, Tiago had to turn his attention to business matters. Fate befell him as he fell in love with Doña Pia Alba, whose charm and grace elevated his social standing and helped him build his fortune. However, the greatest life challenge was their inability to conceive an heir for the first 6 years of their marriage. "What is our fortune without a child to pass it to?" Doña Pia would lament, her heart heavy with silent sorrow. Despite her beauty and health, she prayed endlessly, visited holy sites, and even took part in religious traditions to plead for a child. "Have faith, Piang," Tiago would reassure her, though anxiety gripped his heart. "We have the blessings of the saints all around us. Perhaps Our Lady is preparing us for something remarkable." At last, Fray Damaso suggested a pilgrimage to Obando during the feast of St. Pascual Bailon, indicating that the Trinity of Saints there could grant one's desires for children. He said, "Dance for the saint, and you shall receive what you long for." With hope ignited in her heart, Doña Pia followed his suggestion. Soon after, she celebrated her pregnancy. However, as the months progressed, an underlying melancholy overshadowed her joy, affecting her spirit. "Why do I feel this way?" she would ponder, searching for reasons through prayers. "What capriciousness this is, especially when blessed with a child," Capitan Tiago would speculate, watching her anxiety interfere with the joy that should fill their hearts. Tragedy struck when Doña Pia succumbed to puerperal fever shortly after delivering a beautiful baby girl, Maria Clara. Fray Damaso himself stood as the godfather, and while they had not borne a son, they honored the saint by naming their child Maria Clara, a homage to the Virgin. As their shared happiness turned to sorrow, Capitan Tiago found himself alone in caring for the little girl, now holding all of his hopes for the future. Maria Clara grew up under the care of her Aunt Isabel, a gracious and nurturing figure in her young life. "She reminds me of her mother, God rest her soul," Aunt Isabel would say fondly. "With those big, doe-like eyes, she's bound to win the hearts of many." The children in San Diego revered her, enchanted by her youthful laughter, especially at festivals when she wore white dresses pulled tight against her slender frame and chased doves around the annual processions. The joyous celebration of her childhood eventually culminated in a transitional period of maturity. As she reached her teenage years, local priests suggested she join the convent of St. Catherine to receive formal religious education. A good pious girl should be trained under the sisters, they argued, hoping to shape her into a virtuous woman who would win respect from the community. With a heavy heart, she bid farewell to Padre Damaso, her longtime confidant, and to Crisostomo Ibarra, her childhood friend. "Will you come visit?" she asked, her voice laced with uncertainty. "Of course," he promised, taking her hand gently. "No matter where life takes us, you can count on my return." Over the years, Capitan Tiago's plans for Maria Clara began to unfold as he envisioned her marriage to Ibarra and the potential business partnership between their families. Ibarra, after traveling to Europe for education, was a good match, a wise and honorable young man, capable of restoring Tiago's dream of raising a respectable family with financial strength. As the sun sets on Capitan Tiago's life, his complex character, a blend of wealth, ambition, and a carefully manipulated facade of piety, sets the stage for the intricate dynamics of life in colonial Philippines, showcasing the broader societal conflicts at play. Tiago, while seemingly prosperous and well-connected, traverses a delicate balance of favors, friendships, and rivalries capable of shifting as dramatically as fortunes in his life. And so Capitan Tiago stands on the cusp of significant change as the ties between faith, family, and societal expectations carve a path toward future challenges that may shape not only his life, but the lives of those around him. As he navigates these tense conflicts with resolve, it serves as a grim reminder of the precarious nature of his standing in the world, where every blessing comes with hidden costs, and every rivalry brings its hefty consequences.